is a company that easily could grow into several $billion in revenue. The reality is real.
Hey guys and dolls, and welcome into another video. My name is Jason and I'm going to be covering Alpine 4 Technologies, any new updates that have come out, because we have a new Twitter release and the CEO Kent Wilson has actually stated some new news. So we are going to get into that in this video. We are also going to go over some things on their website and a few clips from their CEO in a recent interview that did happen just before the beginning of this year, because I want you guys to be aware of everything that the company is doing right now and also what the CEO Kent Wilson has been saying about Alpine 4 Technologies and where he sees this going throughout 2021. There has been a lot of confusion, I think, on my channel recently because I do cover Alpine 4 quite a lot. So if you are indeed an Alpine 4 holder like me, or someone that is looking to get invested, then hit that big red subscribe button, because I think I am the only person on YouTube that covers them on about a weekly basis with news and updates. So make sure to hit that red subscribe button and also that like button if you do find value at any point. So let's dive into my computer. I know the markets have been very choppy recently, which again is why we have seen a lot of those plays move out from the growth sector, and it's kind of gone into those recovery plays, into those value traps as I call them, in 5 years. So I do think that that heavy sell-off that we saw over the last couple of weeks, some of that money has started to shift back over because there are now quite a lot of deals in the market. But please know guys, this is a penny stock, it is very volatile, and this is a very long-term play for me. Now, one of their subsidiaries, before we get into the computer actually, I wanted to tell you it concentrates on drone technology. Now, Cathie Wood is extremely bullish on drone technology, and I will show you again in this video later on some of the charts that I have stolen from ARK Invest's research on how autonomous drone technology is going to take over. And guys and dolls, this is a multi-billion-dollar market. So right now Alpine 4 Technologies are setting themselves up for that 5 to 10 year period. They are investing aggressively right now in the companies that they are seeing fit that will allow them to have that massive growth exponentially. So that is something I just wanted to point out for you. So I am still bullish. I haven't sold any of my position, and I haven't actually added any of my position even on these dips, because I do hold quite a large portion of about 2.5% of my portfolio. So I just wanted you guys to know what I've been doing with it. And again, it is a penny stock, so make sure that if you are going to invest in this company, don't put more than about 3% in unless you really do know. But again, none of this is financial advice. These are just my opinions. This is for education and entertainment only, and to keep you guys up to date with all the news with Alpine 4. So let's dive into the computer. Let's go! So up on my screen guys is Alpine 4's Twitter, and we can see that on the 8th of March we did actually have some new news come out. Now, what they have been saying, Alpine 4 announces the merger of Dulux Sheet Metals Inc. and Morris Sheet Metals Corporation to become one of the largest sheet metal contractors in Midwest North Central US. So this is quite exciting news guys. I am going to load up that article for you. So it says that both companies will operate under the Morris Sheet Metal brand with full integration expected by May 2021, which is just less than 2 months away. So the merger creates a more harmonious relationship between the two companies, the company said. The combining of resources empowers Morris to strengthen its brand through its strategic banking relationship, eliminate duplicative and competitive interests, and expand its footprint beyond the Indiana home base. So that is quite exciting. It says here from Kent Wilson in a statement, the CEO, that the merger of Dulux Sheet Metals and Morris Sheet Metals will have enormous implications for the mechanical contractor industry in America Midwest. So that is very bullish. That is a great statement that he's saying there. He says the merger will provide positive impacts for the customers and communities we serve. These impacts will range from better pricing and enhanced quality control, the latest in construction management technology, and a well-captivated parent company ready to dominate the Midwest sector. Our competition, however, will have to reckon with these resources, though I doubt they will be able to compete at our level in the market. So that is some very good news. It means that they are going to be the leader in the Midwest section of the US through their metal. And the Sheet Morris company, guys, they actually do designing, they do fabrication, and they do installation. So they could be potentially in bars, they could be in clubs, they could be in hospitals. So there is a lot of aspects to this business that they have acquired as one of their subsidiaries, because Alpine 4 works by acquiring other companies, and then they again, they invest heavily into them and they make them more profitable, and then they grow them over time. And again, this goes over 3 facts. If you want more information on how they work, then check out this video here, because I do go a little bit more in depth as to what Alpine 4 do and who they are. So it says here as well that it's noted that the Morris Sheet Metals is the preferred contractor for one of the largest hospital networks in Indiana. So that's also some exciting news, guys. And this was responsible for building hundreds of installation rooms throughout the pandemic. The combined company anticipates the benefits that the merger to drop the general administration expenses by almost 7% in the first 12 months after the transaction. That's what Kent Wilson has said. And he said that we also expect our gross profits to increase as our material cost of goods will decrease by 5% due to the increased purchasing power. So the combined companies should reach revenues in excess of 50 million without major capital investments within the next 36 months. So that is some very bullish news and some very good news there for Alpine 4. Perhaps why we did actually see a little push up in that share price on Monday. So again, it is just about waiting for that merger to go through on May, and then again they can start to capitalize on it over the coming year ahead. So I'm just going to play you a quick clip right now of their CEO talking. There is 2 clips that I am going to play you, and I think it is really important that you hear this, because it is very interesting to see what they are doing obviously with this year.
We are a company that is dynamic and growing and always changing. And people say necessity is the mother of all invention. I would say that the need of change and the access to change is the mother of all innovation. And if you look at Alpine 4, and we keep on adding little pieces of the puzzle to it, we're a company that's dynamic, we're growing, we're leading edge, we are getting vendors and even competitors looking at how we're doing things. And it's going to lead up to a pretty fantastic 2021, especially if we're on the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ. And I'm going to say NASDAQ. So it's not changing the business model. We are just going to throw some gasoline on it and see it grow even further.
In moving the company to the NASDAQ.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 6.5 years in the making. Think about what's going to happen when we're on the NASDAQ, when my cost of capital goes way down, my cost of equity goes way down, my ability to attract really, definitive and substantive type of companies for acquisitions goes through the roof. I mean, when you're on a big board, it just does a lot. So I can only see massive gains in shareholder value, stock price, a lot of other things that probably don't want to comment on too much as a CEO.
And guys, one aspect to their business that I did go through quite well, obviously, is that drone technology. So I did watch all of these videos on their website, on THIER and also Impossible, which is 2 of their subsidiaries. They both work on different aspects. One of them is more in the security and defense sector of aerospace technologies, and one of them is obviously in autonomous drones. So what is going to happen over time, Cathie Wood does go on to explain in these graphs right now how autonomous drone delivery is going to be a multi-billion-dollar market. So in the future, we can expect the prices of autonomous and drone deliveries to actually come down and start to capitalize in a growing market that is emerging. Right now, there isn't much law in place for autonomous drones, but by the year of 2025, it is expected to hit quite a substantial amount. So obviously a company like Alpine 4, which is in the very early stages, and again, they do have those 2 aspects inside their business with drone deliveries, autonomous driving, with THIER and also Impossible, which will be subsided together. They will be able to help each other. And again, that's going to bring down the cost of those drone deliveries because they are ahead of the market, and that could allow them to capitalize to have a large slice of that pie. So moving forward, as the CEO says in this clip that I'm about to play you right now, which is quite exciting, they could potentially be $1 billion company in the future just from these 2 subsidiaries alone. So let me play you this clip right now.
Let's just state it very clearly. My vision for a combining efforts between Impossible and THIER is a company that easily could grow into several $1 billion in revenue. It might take 5 to 10 years to get there, but the reality is real. The opportunity is real. And as we get eased regulations in the United States for, autonomous flying, THIER's airframe becomes extremely valuable. And we think 2021 and beyond are going to be pretty impressive. So we're excited. So, the company, people look at our financial statement and they, oh, they've lost some money, and we have lost it, but people don't understand it's a little bit by design. Instead of taking a company that's, when we buy it, that's deriving profit and throwing it back into the equity side of things, we're flushing it through the P&L and driving optimization. So we're using that cash to grow it. And QCA is a perfect example of that. When we bought the company was doing $7 million a year. It's now doing close to 11 and a half. And we're only doing it with 3 more employees. How did we do that? Well, we had to take enormous amount of money and reinvest it into that company. And so that's what you're seeing. We're not able to, it's been by design, but I will add this, in 2021, with all the optimization that we've done, COVID willing, we should start to see profitability throughout our subsidiaries. We're making great strides in that. And being on the New York Stock Exchange and having, reasonable cost of capital is going to bring our interest rates down. It's going to bring, if we want to pay off some debt with equity, it's going to allow us to do that and bring down some of our debt servicing thing. And I will add this, on our profitability side, Alpine 4 has been cash flow positive pretty much every quarter for the last 2 years. So that's a good thing.
So guys and dolls, I really do hope that you have enjoyed all of this information so far. If you do, then please make sure to smash that like button, because it does take me a really long time to go through all of this. I've spent the entire morning absolutely scrutinizing through their websites. I've gone through all of their earnings, everything online that I can find about Alpine 4. I've watched every single CEO, some of them twice, so I really would appreciate if you did hit that like button. And so just before I do actually bring your attention to the charts, it is worth noting, in case you did miss my last video, which again I would recommend to watch, I did link earlier, CEO Kent Wilson did actually put a letter on their Twitter page on the 4th of March that did state that they are doing everything they can right now to uplist to the NASDAQ. So once that does go through, they have submitted everything. It is just a case of waiting. He stated in this letter that it is painful for shareholders and also for the company, and they actually hold more shares than anyone else. So guys, it is not just you guys feeling it if you are perhaps down. And as I did say, when Alpine was at $8, $7 and $9, I would not be purchasing at these prices, because they were planning to do a share dilution, which they did, and then it dropped back to $6, and then again we've had that market correction where it has now gone into the $4 range. So that is when I said I would start loading up anywhere below that $5.50 range for the long term, especially if it did hit $4. That's when I would start to load up my boats personally. So that was something that I had stated back on my channel quite a few months ago. And if we go back onto the charts, you guys can see that that is pretty much accurately what I had predicted, and what I had said would happen has now happened. You can see that we had found a layer of support on the daily. So let me change this over to the 4-hour, because I like the 4-hour time frame much better than the daily chart. You can see that we did bounce off the 200 SMA, and again, this is perfect example of why I use the 4-hour chart and not the daily, guys. On the daily there wasn't much to go off, but again, as soon as I opened up that 4-hour chart, you guys can see that we've immediately touched that 200 SMA, which is why I use that indicator, and we've acted it as a support, and it's now bounced back up. So that is a reason why I use that indicator. You can also see from history that we do actually have a lot of support around this area, a lot of consolidation every time that we do get to these areas. So again, that's 3 layers of support just there, and then 1 back in March that we have just hit. So again, I think this is the floor for Alpine 4. Again, I could be wrong, but unless we do see a substantial sell-off and a continual downtrend in the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, and if that was to happen, we can then expect to go and retest those lows of about $2.60. So that is the lowest I think that we will go, and that is only if we do continue to go down into a bear market, at which point I think a lot of investors will come in and they will certainly be scooping up shares of Alpine 4. I can guarantee that would happen. But I'm not worried about the short-term noise. Right now, I think that this could play out as a nice place to entry, because we are at almost oversold levels on the RSI. We are sitting around that 30 mark. You guys can see that in pre-markets today, we are actually just below that $4 range. So again, if we do actually come down and retest onto that 200 SMA at around $3, that would be the best place to grab entry if we do have any further pullbacks. Again, if you are invested in Alpine 4 Technologies, then again, it's not about investing heavily just because of everything I've said in this video. Make sure to always do your own due diligence and research. This is a very small position of mine. This is not 5 or 10% of my portfolio. So I do want you to know that this company does hold a significant amount of risk, and again, is very volatile, but the aspects to this business are absolutely immense, and they could be a multi-billion-dollar company in the future. But again, we are talking at least 5 years off. So the potential is there for this company to grow and capitalize on how the markets are going to react over the next 5 years, especially with drone technology and everything else, all the other subsidiaries that they have going in their business. So I do think that the next layer of resistance is around that $5 range. So again, we can expect to have a lot of volatility from the current share price up to about $5, and then we would actually be retesting onto that 100 SMA line, and again onto that 21 EMA. Once we do actually in fact cross over on the 21 EMA and this 200 does actually come up above it, then again that would show me that we are in a bear market, so we could have a future sell-off. So what I want to see, guys, is this 21 EMA start to load back up and go above that 100 and again the 50, with this is the 50 and this is the 100 on the SMA, and that is when I would start to say that this is a very nice place to start to buy back in, because it means that buyers have entered the market, and we are now in a full ball view out to increase profits with Alpine 4. So that is just a quick update. So guys, I do hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that this gave you an insight onto the updates. Make sure to smash the like as always. Hit that red subscribe button if you made it this far. My name is Jason. I make videos on the stock market every day. I hope you guys had your cup of tea, and I will see you guys back on my channel for some more content soon. Ciao.